Hi there, Pisces. Welcome to Eyes to See Tarot and your general freestyle for the upcoming weeks ahead. This is a general read, not necessarily centered around love and relationships, but if it comes up in the spread, I'll be sure to let you know. I've got a progressive channel here, so I like to center my readings around you and what you can control. Master of your own destiny. Pisces, speaking of, master of one's own destiny. Something is closing out for you, but you feel absolutely in control of the situation, hands down. Regal, attentive. It's paying attention to small details. Having a plan, right? That's interesting. Bottom of the deck, it's the Page of Wands, though. So the communication, the baby steps, I'd say shyness in communication, right? It's like I'm not out there being all authoritative like I know everything. There is a closing cycle. There is a learning curve, and I am fully aware of this learning curve, right? But I'm very excited, right? It's jitters, it's excitement. And the learning curve is huge because with the Page of Wands in the upright and the Page of Swords in reverse, it says that you watch and listen and act more than you speak. I'm digging for information. I'm digging for how we do things around here. I'm digging for what my next step is with excitement. What? There isn't an emotional longing somewhere in there. So what I'm saying is simpler times. Maybe you used to have a lot of time for pedicures and facials, but now it's all taken up by job-related or endeavor-related issues, right? Maybe there is a longing for a simpler time or something that I knew hands down, but that doesn't stop the excitement of what's coming or what's next for you. You're handling it very, very well. Taking inventory and letting spirit guide the way, or what you have, letting the system kind of show you where the path is at. Quite interesting. I'm down with it. Okay, so Pisces, is there anybody involved? Is there anybody involved in this new thing? Can I see external influences for my Pisces, please? Any external influences for my Pisces, please? External influences. Let's get you. There's that. Okay, so the Eight of Cups and the Death card in reverse both show me that there is something or someone or an issue in the background that keeps kind of pulling you. Right? Tugging at your heart. There's a little bit of empathy, a little bit of guilt, there's a little bit of sorrow. There's something there that is kind of, I'd venture to say a thorn in your side, but it's not necessarily a thorn as it is like a heartstring, right? With the Eight of Cups being Cups emotions, there's a clinging, a promise. You know, I'll get back to you. Right? But with all heartfelt, whether or not you know that you will eventually make it back. There's the incentive, intention. Can I see a little bit more about the person, people, or situation that external? Okay, so with the Seven of Wands and the Four, they are defending, right? There's a clinging on their end. They're defending your endeavor. They're sticking up for you. They have utter faith. That's not something, you're not something that they want to relinquish or let go of. Not even in the slightest. They see a lot of hope. They see a lot of hope in the endeavor. They see a lot of hope in the situation. They see a lot of hope in you. So whatever it is that you're doing, they're capable and ready to make space, but not only make space, but also defend you in that space, right? Bottom of the deck, Knight of Pentacles. They also tangibly support you, right? So tangibly, monetarily, time, massages, do you need a Snickers? Can I get you a cup of coffee? They seem to be very supportive in that front also, right? Very supportive. All right, so can I see what's upcoming for my Pisces in this new front? Okay, so with the Three of Swords in reverse right there, there is a healing. So whether or not this is the main objective of the situation, main objective of the trial and tribulation of the direction, it does come with some healing. Very regal, very abundant, very natural, very effortless. Fair. You don't want to go? I don't want to go either. Yes, I see fair. Oh, but you're worried about doing something. Oh, okay. Okay, so there is some background concern of yours, seems, right? So with the Seven of Swords in reverse, the Ace of Swords in reverse, the Nine of Swords in the upright, there's a lot of nagging, kind of negative Nancy thoughts. I lied on my app. Will they find me out? Will this confront me further on in my future? Will this have anything to do with it? And that's just saying, like, that's not necessarily what happened. But with the Nine of Pentacles right there, it's like whatever you had to do with the resources that you had amassed, and that's fine to start where you start. I had to get my foot in the door, and I think that's why there's a lot more listening and paying attention than there is actually action, because I want to make sure that whatever this situation was doesn't come to the forefront. You understand? It's like I don't put my foot in my mouth. It is better to be thought a fool than to open your mouth and to prove it. So Pisces, that seems to be like where you are in the situation. I'm probably going to look a little bit further, but there is some balance. There is some independence, right? There is but there is concern, there is worry, there is these things, but I'm not saying that they're not a healthy part of the recipe. I'm saying that in order to get that Page of Swords in the reverse, you have to be a little bit concerned about if you're doing it right, or if you're holding your mouth right, or if the fish are going to bite, or if I brought the right bait. Pay attention to the actions and the communications from those around you. See, because if I thought that I knew it all and I wasn't worried about anything, there's a possibility that a lot of these things might have fell under the rug, right? I might have missed them. I might have taken them for granted. I might have ignored them altogether. But because I have this little piece of concern, this sliver of concern, this, did I get it right? Am I doing right? There's that healthy self-doubt. Now, I'm not saying self-doubt is usually a very healthy thing. I'm just saying that in this situation, it kind of helps you to cover all of your bases. Don't be trying to eradicate that, but don't overly exercise it either. Understand its place and part in the grand design, and carry on, because I think, Pisces, I think you're doing great. things will tend to get a little overwhelming for you. So do pay attention to optimized versions, like how to do what you're doing more optimally, less wasted time, less wasted resources. You have a lot of really, really good energy supporting and surrounding. Say, if this was a love reading, there was a closure to the situation. But with the Emperor and the Empress both coming up from separate decks under your spread, and then this person over here being as supportive as they possibly can, even given the distance that seems to be between you, whether it's physical, mental, or emotional. There's a distance between y'all, but it's being well cared for, well looked after, right? So can I see a little bit more about the worry and concern? Because if it was a relationship reading, there also could be worry and concern surrounding this person, right? This person in your atmosphere. Worried about them lying, worried about a lie that you told that you want to make amends on, you know, or that you want to bring to light. Let me bring that up before we get too deep into this. I want to see if they're going to completely encompass everything that is me, or understand why it was that I had the nerve to tell a misleading story. The decision is kind of made up, and you are waiting for an opportunity in that situation. It could be with this Eight of Swords. This Eight of Wands here is in the upright, waiting for an opportunity to be able to express yourself. You can stand on your own. You're not worried about this. But it's like the Two of Pentacles gives you that idea that door number one, door number two. Let divine intervention, let spirit, let your emotions, let your heart be your guide in this situation, whether or not you'd like to. Because, Pisces, let me tell you, there's not very many chances that offers like this come along, or people, situations in our life that, despite the distance or despite the wedge between us, still able to support you, love you, and have you on my mind. So depending on how this plays out with this situation or this person, but I don't think that we can pick door number one and then choose to be misleading, right? Door number two, door number one doesn't seem like an escape from, although it can be, but door number two of, like, you know, keeping your mouth shut about it is a guaranteed failure for any relationship, honestly. So kind of let spirit work it out. Just do your best at everything that you do, you know, whether it be hold the relationship, whether it be the new job endeavor, whether it be the move, right? Or the plan to remodel your house, or dinner, for God's sake. You know, I misled you. We really did have chicken in the fridge. I just told you that we only had pork because I wanted pork loin tonight. You know, oh, baby, that's okay. Or, no, I want a divorce immediately. Okay, so with the Queen of Wands in reverse, what I'm getting is that there is a tendency to, it's a proud feeling, right? To entitled. There is a sort of sense of entitlement for some of you. Some of you can be more dispositioned to feelings of entitlement, or that I deserve this, and take it for granted and then do whatever you will with it. Now, Pisces, that's not necessarily a Pisces trait, but I'm not saying that with all the fuel to the fire and the new endeavors and steps forward and opportunities that you wouldn't let something like this fly under the radar. Do you understand? As I'm doing great now, I'm going to find somebody better than you. That's kind of a toss-up. I don't see it in the cards right now, but I'm not saying that it's a, not saying it's a cat. With the Seven of Cups, there's liable to be lots and lots of new or different avenues, people, places, things, opportunities when it comes to love and relationships, or things that we're passionate about with the Seven of Cups here. I'm just saying that I'm going to pull a few more cards right here. I want to see what's going on more with this person, because right now, like, why wouldn't, well, I mean, like, are they short? They ugly? They got bratty kids? I mean, like, what would be that for this person who is not wanting to let you go? Maybe it could be the Death in reverse, with their inability to actually change and rise up to the situation to meet you. Oh my God. What's with the... What's with that? I'm going to put this back for a second. I'm going to look a little bit. Okay, something is unknown in this situation. Either they don't know something about you that you have successfully hidden, or you know those new relationship jitters, right, where we deny the red flags. Right? With the Justice at the bottom of the deck and the Queen of Wands coming out both times, with letting things unfold, right? With the Temperance card right here, card of Sagittarius, also some very strong Sagittarian energy with the Queen of Wands. Entitlement. What's good for the goose isn't good for the gander when action cards, fire cards like wands are in the reverse, especially when they're court cards. Okay. I want to know a little bit more about this Queen of Wands. Why is she presenting in this read? Why is the Queen of Wands? It's the Ten of Cups in reverse. Something is better on the outside than it is on the inside. Maybe they had cheated in the past, or been unfaithful. I'm not seeing like a physical, no, with the World card in reverse. And then it seems like something is not necessarily completely over. Like it's not water under the bridge, right? It's not water off a duck's back. Something is incomplete when it comes to this situation with the Queen of Wands in reverse. Knight of Swords. So it's not over till the fat lady sings. Okay, so with that being said, until something is said, until something is brought up, and I don't know if it's you, like I said, with the Ace of Swords in the reverse, the Seven of Swords in reverse, and the Nine of Swords, something, somewhere, somebody needs to come clean about something for the health and the wellness of the relationship. It's just time to see if they're worth it, if they're worth getting the message across to. Like, and it doesn't matter if it's a daisy in a field or a dog, right? I'd tell the truth. I would tell the truth. But most times when we're caught in one of those situations, like came up with you with the Eight of Wands, right? Looking for the perfect opportunity. I'm looking for things to kind of lay out and present an opportunity for me to bring it up or for me to admit it, right? And for some of you, it could even be that you know about this thing that makes you uncomfortable. Like I said, I'm not seeing a lot of real physical interaction or actual cheating. But something that did displease you, they're continuing to do it, right? They haven't stopped it. Maybe because they actually have never seen it as a threat. That you're overreacting for nothing. And with the Knight of Swords there, I'm seeing that that's a very big possibility. They see a lot of hope in you. They're defending you. They're defending the relationship. They're not willing to let it go. But there's something that they're not transforming past, right? There's a sacrifice that they're not willing to make in order to step up to the relationship. And sometimes, I'm not saying all the time, but sometimes people do have very unrealistic expectations in a relationship. I'm going to put up boundaries and fronts, not because I really need that boundary or front, or I'm that insecure. It's that I'm just really that afraid of commitment. So if I make it very, very difficult for you to have a relationship with me, then I don't have to blame it on anything. Right? I don't have to blame it on myself. I don't have to get really emotionally invested. So this could be one of those situations where you're almost sabotaging yourself, or vice versa, right? It is something that y'all would highly, feverishly disagree on, but it is something that probably needs to be worked out nonetheless, right? Bottom of the deck, there has to be some sort of focus, right? That would clear it up. Remember how I said, should you roll with this or should you roll with that? Door A or door B? Like, what is the situation? And I think this uncomfortable conversation would be one of those things that cleared up this situation. Well, it's obvious that you're not willing to do it. I might need to reassess why I want you to do it, or why I want that kind of control in the relationship, why I don't trust, or why I have little to no trust for people in general, or the universe around me, for say. So anyway, that's quite interesting. So as far as what the situation actually is, look, Pisces, I really can't tell you. It's going to be different for a lot of you, but I do know it's going to cause quite a stir. Not you. I've read all of you. There is some self-serving, selfish, self-serving, right? We went from this being a job endeavor to being the perfect relationship to this being a ballroom brawl. With the Two of Swords at the bottom of the deck, it seems to be like it's a decision to be made. Like, this is, I'm not saying it's a decision to be made. I'm not saying that when the truth comes out, it's a ground for divorce or something like that. What I'm saying is we get to reevaluate our principles at this time for the sake of a relationship, because that's what a relationship actually is in the grand scheme of things. That's how to take your most comfortable, most optimized, most profound life, and how can I be support of that while you're in turn supporting my growth, my development, my most perfect life, right? And what I'm comfortable with. Relationships should definitely be safe spaces, but all relationships are. So if I feel unsafe in a relationship, sometimes I need to look at and reassess why. I feel unsafe in a very safe atmosphere? Why do I feel unsafe on Barney's Love Dinosaur set? I don't know. With the Tower card here, it's a recipe for disaster, right? The lack of communication because of past instances, or how I was treated as a child, or the lack of being able to go to my partner with my concerns, with my ideas, with ideas of how to enhance our relationship or make it better for all of us. Like, I'm not saying that you have to sacrifice. Find a balance, right? Find a balance. All right, Pisces, that's pretty much all I have for you. There's another card of going back, looking at it again, going back, looking at it again, reassessing the situation, understanding that we're not all perfect, right? And it is how we treat other people, or how we make other people feel, that they remember more than what we said to them. So how safe do you feel? How safe do you make them feel? How willing are you to work on this? And until next time, thanks for stopping at Eyes to See Tarot. Please like, comment, subscribe hit the bell if you want to be informed next time I upload. And I'll see you again real soon.